I don't know what the fuck. Oh my gosh. That's going to be my night so far. Can you? It's all blurry. Oh my goodness. It's not blurry anymore, so it's fixed. But whatever. Welcome to the evening show. Today is March 28th, 2023. And it is, I tell you what, man. Being a husband, being a dad, sometimes it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult. I literally just had, yeah, God. You know when your wife is very tired, right? Because she works a lot. She works long days, gets up at 4:30 in the morning, gets home from martial arts at 7 o'clock, has to give the kids showers and stuff, right? And you make the mistake as the husband, even though you've been up just about equally as long and you're already back at work, you don't get to relax with a glass of wine or anything now. But I made him so I'm gonna rant and then we'll get into the talking points of the night for a little bit. And I know this is what you guys aspire, right? For this is what you long for, the rants. So many people don't know. I don't talk too much about my childhood, but one of the things that happened in my childhood was food was used as a punishment, right? And because I was a troublemaker, I didn't get to eat a lot. So I was extremely malnourished and all that. That was just my growing up. And we were poor, right? But what little food that we did have, it was used as a punishment. I would go without meals, stuff like that. So food in my house now as a dad is completely different. We have a rule where we don't have store brand food in our house because we grew up with it and it tastes like shit. But other than that, the kids are pretty much allowed to eat what they want when they want all the time because, well, I know what it's like to actually go hungry and stuff like that. And my little guy, he gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. His school doesn't even start until 9 a.m., but he gets up at 6, they leave at 6:40, and he goes to like a pre-care program at the school that we pay for every month, right? And it's fine. It's fine. It's all happy. But the kid is running around for 2 hours in that preschool program, right? And so he's hungry. So at 9 o'clock, he figured out that he can just go get the school breakfast, right? And it's not free. We have to pay for it. But he can go get the school breakfast. And he was all excited about it. And he was doing it without us knowing. And we kept getting bills. And we're like, what the hell are these for? And then finally, we figure out what it is. We pay him. We put a balance on there. And he's allowed to get school breakfast. Then my wife chimes in because my wife is not anything like me in the terms of food, right? I like sugar. I like meat. Like my wife is not that way at all. She doesn't really like sugar that much. She doesn't really like meat that much. And of course, because I don't cook, she pretty much does, what she wants with the kids, right? So of course, the kid, she doesn't want him having school breakfast because, well, it's all sugar. I mean, and I understand her argument on it. It's all sugar. She doesn't want him having it because he's going to be high on sugar for about 45 minutes, and then he's going to crash, and the teacher's going to have a little devil to deal with. Well, my wife was right because that's exactly what ended up happening. A couple of weeks ago, we realized, or last week or the week before, we found out that when substitutes are in the class, he's actually removed from the classroom along with other students. And those students are all put in an actual, another classroom with the regular teacher in order to go through their lessons, because when they have a substitute, they know that they can do whatever they want, right? And keep in mind, he's a second grader. So kids get away with a lot more, and especially my kid. For some reason, even though this teacher's been teaching for years and years and years, this is like her retirement teaching spot. So she's a little bit more lax and lets him get up and move his arms around and all that stuff in class. Anyway, so my wife doesn't want him having these school breakfasts because we found out he was getting in trouble at school because he's all high on sugar, right? So she starts giving him breakfast. And what she's doing is she's just essentially giving him more of what he's having for lunch. So just like any other kid and any other Oatly that I've ever met, anyone with my surname, we don't like to eat the same things over and over and over. So what's my son do? Well, he realizes I'm on the way to Texas and I'm not paying attention. So he starts grabbing school lunches or school breakfast again, right? And we didn't know what was going on until we got a note home from school today, because we stopped asking him because when my wife was packing the breakfast for him, so he eats breakfast at 6 o'clock at home. He goes there, he has his rec stuff, and then he has another breakfast at 9 o'clock. He's also very, very skinny too. So he's not like a chubby kid or anything. He's very, very skinny, underweight actually. But it's because he never stops. He's like a little tornado that never stops and just keeps running around. So when my wife started sending him lunches or breakfasts, we said, okay, don't get the school breakfast anymore. You have this breakfast, that's what you get instead. So he did it for a couple of days, and then he was like, you know what, screw this, Dad's gone, he's not going to pay attention, I'm going to start getting school breakfast again. Because I get notifications on my phone every time they try to recharge, which is like once every 2 weeks or something like that. And then it causes me to look and say, oh, he's literally getting breakfast again. And but I didn't check for a couple of days because there's a balance on there. I didn't really pay attention. And then my wife, today when I call her, for one, she's pissed off because she's picking up groceries at Food Lion. She's been working all day. She's tired. I understand it. And then the trunk on her Subaru won't close again. The car that I fixed, I had to drive for a long time because she broke the trunk. I fixed the trunk by putting a new battery and resetting the sensors, and so it was good. And she's since broken the trunk again. And I can't, she's like an electromagnetic pulse. For anything electronic, she breaks, right? And so she's pissed off because she's at the Food Lion parking lot. She can't get the trunk to latch, so it's just like open, it won't close. And she's like, I got a teacher from Miss Hamill that Liam's being crazy and all this stuff, right? And so I was like, whatever, I'll be there. I'm trying to like talk to her, and I'm like, I'm trying to. I don't care about the message from the teacher. I care about the message, the fact that the trunk's open, and she's so frustrated she's going to drive home with the trunk open, right? And so I'm trying to like guide her through the steps to reset it, because you can reset these fully automatic trunks. You got to basically gently pull it all the way up until it's about 2/3 of the way open. Press the button, cross your fingers, tap your heels twice, blink 7 times, and then maybe it'll lock when it actually closes, right? Didn't work. She got it to, like, it will half engage, so it just rattles and loose, and it sends on the bells and the lights on the top and all that. But it's enough that the shit's not going to fall out of the car until it does open up while you're driving down the interstate at 65 miles an hour, right? So she gets it home. She gets the groceries out of the trunk. She gets there. I get home. I open the trunk. I manually pull it open. I'm like, okay, I press the button, the trunk closes and locks. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I can't explain it. I try to open the trunk again. It opens all the way up. I close it all the way. It closes all the way. I'm like, babe, this is weird. So I go inside the house and put my coffee mug there. I open up the door and I'm like, come here, look, your trunk. I don't get it. Watch. And I press the button on her key fob. Trunk goes like this. It goes and it breaks. I'm like, what the And then I go to it and I'm able to get it shut again. And I said, stop using the trunk. Just straight up, stop using it. If you have to use it, use it. Otherwise, the Subaru's got fold down seats. Just like put the groceries back there. Have one of the kids climb there if the shit rolls around. Whatever. Stop using the trunk. It's basically what I told her. You're not getting my car. And then we're eating dinner. We're not really paying attention to anything. And then we start going through, I go through the messages. We start talking about the teacher's message and saying that he's apparently, the way that works, he goes from the basic rec thing in the morning, and then he goes and through the cafeteria, picks up his lunch, and then he either, I don't know, this is the one part I'm missing, whether they eat the lunch in the cafeteria or they bring it to class. Long story short, he gets to class and he's missed part of the work because the teacher obviously isn't going to wait for the kids that are eating very slowly wherever the hell they're eating, right? So today was the note that he's getting the lunch and that he's missing lessons because apparently she starts in the clock of a dime ready to go and he's apparently eating a couple of minutes too slow. And so whatever. But then we're like, okay, he's not eating that lunch. I check the account. He's buying lunch again or breakfast again. I'm like, what are you doing? And then we get into the conversation with my wife and I about how he's not supposed to do that, but in the same regard, he's probably hungry, right? And we thought it was just today. So I get back to the office and I get a notification. It's like, low balance alert. You got to put more money in this. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I log in and I see he actually bought breakfast Thursday, Friday, yesterday, and today. And I'm like, okay, this is a bigger issue. So I call her and I'm just basically like, we have to do something different. It's either he gets the breakfast from the school, which you don't want him to have because it's all sugary cereal, Lucky Charms and apple juice. So she doesn't want him to have that for that reason. Or you make him food that he actually wants to eat. Big mistake, Steve. Like, you've been with this lady for 17 years. You would think you don't say that to her. But apparently I do, especially when I'm like in a time crunch trying to prepare for a show. So apparently I do. So that set her off, of course. You know, my loving wife, who's extremely tired, hasn't had a glass of wine yet, is pissed off because she's trying to give a kid a bath, 14 hours after she's already been awake for the day, 15 hours. So whatever. So she's like, he's not even hungry. And so then I get mad because I'm like, you weren't starved as a child. You don't know. If a kid wants to eat, he wants to eat. He's already underweight. Let him eat. And she's like, I give him breakfast every day and he doesn't do it. And then we got in a conversation about lunchbox size because the other day she gave him Pop-Tarts for breakfast. Scrammed it, like literally, like the way it looked when he pulled it out, it looked like someone took the bag of Pop-Tarts and squished it into a ball, right? It was all broken up. Long story short, a 5-minute conversation should have lasted for 5 minutes, lasted instead for 25 minutes. and I'm here, luckily, because I would have been raising my voice there because I was ticked off because, sometimes when you try to communicate with your significant other, whether it's a wife or not, there's things that happen. It's like trying to, technically it is. It's like trying to rationalize with a Democrat, right? And that's, I guess, by default, that's what I'm trying to do. I am trying to rationalize with a Democrat because she is a Democrat. And I'm trying to rationalize common sense. And so I'm trying to speak common sense to her while also trying to keep my cool so I don't flip out and then make it be the stereotypical Republican, right? And that's precisely what I did. I lost my cool, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are we having a conversation this long about this? He either gets breakfast or you give him food he wants. Simple as that. I said, I don't like eating the same thing. You made me, sausage breakfast bagels for 6 days in a row. I threw it out the last day. Why? I like breakfast bagels. I don't want it 6 days in a row. That's me. I'm annoying. Like, that's it. It's like cereal. She's like, you guys stop eating the cereal. No shit, because we've been eating the cereal for fucking a month, the same cereal. So long story short, we came to an understanding because I said, I'm wrong, you're right, whatever. I did the bigger man thing, and I was like, threw up my hands in the air and said, okay, whatever, you win, I'm sorry. Curled up in a ball, sucked my thumb, and then pressed play on this, and then we started going. But, and I'm not joking, that's pretty much how the conversation ended. Because I'm like, I'm not going to win this. She's tired. I literally could hear the wine pouring, and I knew I was in for it if I didn't end the conversation right there. So I just said, fuck this. Someone said, easy peasy, you teach the kid to prepare food, independence. Yeah, but that's not possible when he's 30 miles away from her house at school. She is the one that prepares his lunch. And she's giving him, like, Captain Crunch and stuff, like shit that kids like. The shit that he said he wanted. But I don't know. It shouldn't even be a big conversation. This is like, well, people are probably watching this right now and be like, I couldn't afford food. Like, why are you talking about that? I can't even afford food. I'm just saying it's so stupid. The whole conversation, a 5-minute conversation turned into an hour, a 25-minute fucking going back and forth. And she's like, he's not even hungry. He just likes sugar. And I'm like, he's literally running around for 2 hours. He's hungry. Kids don't eat it unless they're hungry. Once you get older and you get obese, you eat when you're sad and shit. Kids his age, they don't do that. They eat because they're hungry. Yes, he wants sugar. So make him shit that has sugar, even if it's fake. Like these things. I use them in water because I hate them. You know how much sugar it has? 0. You know how many calories it has? 0. But it tastes like fucking juice when you add it to water. So that's what I do. And I'm like, just start giving him that. Put it into the water bottle. He'll drink that, And we came to an understanding. If she is, and every now and then she'll watch this, and then I'll find out tomorrow if she watched this in advance. I'm sorry, dear. but yeah, I mean, I ended the conversation. And you know what I've learned in conversation with significant others? When you say you, when you say, but you make them food, or you always make whatever he wants for dinner, and so we don't force him to eat, and then you get pissed when he doesn't want to eat what you're making. I've learned that you can't do that. You have to replace you with we when you're having a conversation. Like, trust me, guys, I'm young, right? I know some of you have probably been married for years and years. The key to a successful marriage is when you're having a dispute about something, replace you with either me or we. Most likely me, right? Or I, like, you know what I mean? See, even if you're having a problem with your significant other, you make her think you're having a problem with yourself. And you're mad because you're affecting her negatively, and then she will feel bad. Not really, it doesn't work, but whatever. I don't care. It got me out of a conversation. We ended the conversation saying, I love you, and then I hung up the phone. I was like, fuck! Like, you know, and then I pressed play. But I realized, and towards the end of the conversation, I'm like, do you not understand how much effort I'm putting into this right now? She's like, what do you mean? I said, don't you realize I'm saying we instead of you all the time? And she's like, wait, are you saying it's you? And I'm like, I gotta go, dude. Like, I was like, fuck this, I'm out. I can't do this. I can't. And it's something so small. Like, and she tried it yesterday too. And it's usually what happens when I travel. I get back and she's like, you know, I've been fucking with kids for 5 fucking days. Haven't had any adult contact. Let me pick a fight with my husband. But she did it tomorrow, and I just went like this. Nope. Just nope, we're not doing it. We're not arguing. We're not doing shit. Nope. Just shut it right down, because that's the only way to do it. And then I said, don't you realize that we picked a fight yesterday? And I figured she would have caught that, but no, she didn't. She really thought I was like saying we, like our, no, because we didn't pick a fight yesterday. She did about something stupid, and I was like, it's not happening. We picked a fight yesterday, but then we ended it. No. So, I mean, that's if you need any relationship advice, you probably shouldn't take it from me. But if you are going to get anything from me at all, replace you with we. All right? It'll save your life. It really will. It's fucking crazy, bro. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But, yeah, it's just funny. It made me laugh. It made me laugh. And lucky for me, she'll be asleep by the time I get home. Because otherwise, if she's up, then you know we got a problem. But she's probably asleep by now. Who are we kidding? The second she lays down, she'll drink a glass of wine, she'll lay down and just be out. So that's a good thing about her. Even if she goes to bed pissed, she'll wake up pissed. But at least you know that if she puts her head down, even if she's upset, you just got to wait like 5 seconds, and then she's asleep. So, you know, it's good. It's good. I wouldn't be surprised if she is watching, though, and being like, this motherfucker. I'll probably get home, and she'll be sitting on the bed like this, just staring in the dark. Oh, man. So it said, just bring home more wine. No. Cheesy eggs is good. Yeah, she does that all the time. I mean, she makes eggs, and then, because to be honest, she was making eggs. I can't cook. Like, I made eggs for the kids. Or no, I made breakfast for myself the other day. I almost had to throw away the pan. It's a non-stick pan, and I still burned the fuck out of the eggs. I don't know how I did it. I literally, like, was talking to her and just being like, what am I doing wrong? The pan, I bought it for it. It's one of those copper ones that's non-stick. She's like, you still have to use butter. I'm like, what? It's non-stick. Why do you have to use butter? That doesn't make any sense. I can't cook worth the shit. You know what I eat during the day when I remember to bring it? Ramen noodles. Because you can't fuck them up. Just ramen noodles or chicken patties that you freeze. And I still mess those up because I overcook them in the microwave. And then the corners of the chicken patty will get all hard and you can't even eat it. Yeah. So when I say she always says, what, you know, because I always say, what would you do if I was gone, right? Like, how would you survive? And she's like, what would you do if I was gone? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you would literally starve. And I'm like, yeah, good point. Because I can't eat. But Sarah said, your wife needs a free day. She gets one on the weekends. She doesn't have to work on the weekends. I do. You know what I mean? Don't say that to her. She's like, you think I just sit around? I'm cleaning, I'm playing with the bunnies, I'm doing all this. And I'm like, did you take a nap? She's like, that doesn't matter. And I'm like, yes, it does. I didn't get to take a nap. You know what I did today? I packed 500 bags of coffee. I went to the gym and worked out chest. I did this, I did that. I did 7 shows. I did videos. Yeah, my days never end, but whatever. You know, it's funny. Remember that, though. Replace you with we. Fucking marriage. Your marriage is golden. Marriage is golden. Speaking of golden, we are doing a TV giveaway today. If you guys do want to contribute, the TV giveaway is over, but this is where the real test is. If you guys want to contribute to the show and to me and all that good stuff, you can, right here, this link. You can do Cash Apps, Venmos, or any of that stuff. We are giving away a TV, but that's done. You can't enter because I already did a spreadsheet of everything. And totaling all the total contributions, we have 964 entries. Now, that's not because we had 964 people that contributed. No. It's because a lot of people did $20 or $10, and every dollar that you did was an entry. So we have a total of 964 entries, and half of which belong to one person. But so he's got really good odds. But yeah, if you do want to support, if you do want to send a Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, we are still quite a bit short from where we need to be in just 2 short days because we decided to do the giveaway and I did the giveaway. Well, I decided to do the covenant. I decided to donate because of the horrible thing that happened yesterday. Because originally we were going to do the giveaway as an effort to try to raise money for our rent and all that stuff. The bills, the business bills, our business rent. We don't pay rent for our house because we own it. But you know what I'm saying? We pay a mortgage for our house. But the rent for the store and all that stuff. But yeah, if you want to support, you can do via that link if you are so nice. And if you don't want to, you don't have to, but feel free. You know what I mean? I may be sleeping on the couch again tonight, so it's very helpful. I'll buy another blanket or something like that. So if you want to. Anyway, so that's that. There are some new updates coming out of this Nashville mass shooting that took place at school by the transgendered, whatever you want to say. Social media is doing precisely exactly what I thought it was going to. Everybody, the right is just making transgenderism the issue instead of mental health, when you could argue that, well, that is a mental health thing, right? Gender dysmorphia and all that. I said it yesterday. I said it earlier today. That is what the majority of this whole thing is about. It seems for a lot of people on the right, they're just talking about transgenderism. I don't think that is the right course of action. I think right now you could really have a good argument for mental health, especially with this person's background and the fact that they were suicidal. I mean, it's also going to make a good argument for red flag laws, which likely will just be abused anyway, which is why most conservatives don't support red flag laws. Some said there's a standoff in Alexandria, Virginia. I know I just got a push notification because of it. I think it's Prince William police are actively with that standoff. I know nothing about it, though. I did just see it, though. Yeah, there's something going on. Someone said there have been many in relation to trans and shootings. No, there haven't. There's been 4. There's been 80 different school shootings, and that's 4 in the past year. There's been 80 different school-related shootings so far this year alone. Okay, so to make it seem like there's more mass shootings, and actually only one trans school-related mass shooting. There were other ones with nightclubs and shit like that, but only one trans-related mass shooting at a school that I'm aware of, and that's the only one so far this year. So to try to make it seem like that's the bigger issue is it's stupid, and we shouldn't be doing it. If you want to focus on mental health issues, then focus on mental health issues, because this person had some mental health issues. A lot of people knew it too, which is the craziest part. Now, you see a lot of the leftists are trying to make arguments towards the parents and saying the parents are culpable for this because, well, the parents should have searched a 28-year-old's bag when they left the house because they knew she had guns, except they didn't know. They were under the understanding that she sold the guns and that she only had one gun, which she sold. She was currently going through emotional counseling. They knew. And then you have the New York Post putting out this article, which I don't know what good it's going to do. Daily Mail putting out an article. And I don't know how this is going to benefit anything. It's only going to turn the leftist mob of insane people further against these poor parents who lost their daughter. Let's be honest. Even though she was a murderous, scumbag, soul-sucking loser, she was still someone's daughter, and you have to have sympathy for that. But the Daily Mail has put out an article saying exclusive Nashville mass school shooter Audrey Hale was rejected by her Christian parents who, quote, couldn't accept, end quote, that she was gay and trans, as cops reveal she also had planned to shoot relatives. So this Daily Mail article, it basically says just what I said. It goes on to say twisted school shooter Audrey Hale was at odds with her devout Christian parents because they couldn't accept she was gay and transgender. They go on to say that people had told them that Audrey Hale would hide her transgenderism from her parents, even though she just came out in the past year and a half. This whole thing all transpired in the past year and a half, which directly correlates with the whole big push for transgenderism and you know, inclusivity and all that crap too. And I'm not trying to go too crazy on down that rabbit hole of bullshit, but I mean, yeah, right. And anyway, and what's crazy about it is her own mom was a gun control activist that spoke out against school shootings and wanted, you know, increased measures of gun control. Her own mother, you know what I mean? Which is absolutely crazy, you know? But yeah, I mean, people said that, you know, witnesses said that this transgender person or fucking monster, I don't want to say person either, because I don't want to humanize her. She's a monster. But this monster would wait until her parents left the house to change her clothes from girl clothes into guy clothes. And, you know, apparently the parents refused to call her Aiden, which was the dude name she wanted. And you've seen a lot of people try to, I mean, we did it yesterday. I did it on the show, whether it's she, you know, confusing she and he. And I've just, you know, just decided to say monster instead, as I feel like it's better. But the gun control thing which is kind of crazy, because there's an article that came out on the New York Post that mother of Nashville school shooter Audrey Hale shared several gun control posts on social media. The mother of the school shooter appeared to be a gun control activist who once urged friends on Facebook to sign a petition calling for keeping firearms out of school. She wrote on March 8th, 2018, "So important, keep guns out of school." It appeared to be from the Sandy Hook Promise Foundation. The website's domain to the petition didn't appear to exist anymore. Another post from February 21st, 2018. Hale shared another petition from Sandy Hook Promise urging lawmakers to make, quote, large capacity gun magazines illegal. Hale's adult child, Audrey Hale, used large capacity magazines to commit these heinous acts where she killed three innocent children plus 3 other adults at that location, which is really, really crazy. You know, the New York Post has another article where they're talking about this, and apparently ABC News was able to phone the mom and talk to the mom, and the mom said, "We are mourning the loss of our daughter." And the way I read the article, or at least the Nashville school shooter Audrey Hale's mom begs for privacy. "I think I lost my daughter." You know, I don't know. I've read it a couple of times because I'm like, it seems weird. The way they wrote the article makes it seem like they're not sympathetic to the fact that they also lost someone they love in a way that, like, it's indescribable, because they know that person also took the lives of other people, which is just, it's insane, right? It's insane. But, you know, I've seen a lot of people blaming it on Christianity. I've seen a lot of people blaming it on everything. You know, I was just tagged in a thread on Facebook, which I asked the guy not to tag me in any of these threads anymore, where they're alleging that this whole thing is a big conspiracy, and there's like the same shit they did with Sandy Hook. It's fucking disgusting, and people need to not do that. You know, I firmly believe this is real. I do think it's weird, and there's a lot of weird coincidences that happen with, like, the Illinois mom that was, you know, the gun control activist that was apparently at the mass shooting event in Illinois during July 4th, right? But wasn't injured or anything, but then became an outspoken gun control advocate, speaking in front of Congress and all that. She just happened to be in Nashville. She happened to be at the presser. She doesn't have any children at the school at all, but she happened to be at the presser and interrupted the presser and gave this speech about how we have to remove guns from schools and all that stuff. When, again, everybody agrees that you have to do that, but how do you do it? That's the thing we've heard. Nobody has a concrete solution. I've literally listened to a couple of liberal channels today just to try to figure out what they're talking about. It's the same thing. It's get rid of high capacity magazines, ban assault rifles, put red flag laws into place, as if they work. Red flag laws don't work. One, Buffalo shooter. It's the clearest example on how they don't prevent mass shootings. Red flag laws do not prevent mass shootings. But what could be done to actually stop, just like I said earlier today, what could be done to have stopped this person? She wasn't on the police radar. We know that. The police chief said she was not on the police radar, was not known. In fact, they didn't even know she existed, is what he said, which caused a lot of other conspiracy theorists to be like, what's that mean? Is it a made up person? Is it not a real person? Is this all a big psyop? Blah, blah, blah. Is this, people are doing all that shit on social media because I guess that is a normal way to cope with these things, because, I mean, this is an adult that killed children. It's never going to be normal, and it's never going to be acceptable, and it's never going to be, I'm never going to be able to understand it. Someone said, did you hear one of the adults was the principal? Yes. One of the adults was not the principal. It was Dr. Catherine Kuhn. She was the head of the school. She was one of the adults that was killed. And you actually, if you watch the body camera footage, you see her body in the video as the police officers. And I I'm not going to obviously show the video here. I did share it out on Twitter, and it's all over the place on Twitter. If you haven't seen that video, I do suggest watching it. You can end right at the 3-minute mark if you don't want to see the shooter get killed. But I suggest you do watch it because it's very amazing to see police do what they're supposed to do. Because there's been a rash of bad policing lately, from the Memphis shooting to Uvalde, or the Memphis beating to Uvalde to the correctional officers here in Virginia. There's been a mass of negative publicity on police officers. So it's good. And I still think we have to do better. I think a 9-minute, 14-minute, whatever response time. It was a 9-minute travel time, 14 minutes until the threat was ended. I think that's too long, especially with the mass shooter in a school. I think it's too long. That's my personal belief. Luckily, this school was prepared, and they locked all the kids in a room and kept them all safe. And there were 2 children. Well, I don't want to go. I don't want to talk about that. But they kept the majority of the kids safe. They did everything they're supposed to do. But those cops, they didn't waste a second. They cleared rooms quick as shit. They ran, sound of gunfire. There was no stutter, no nothing. It was the way you would think that all people would react to that kind of thing. And that's why I believe, like, if you can tolerate it, watch the video. It seems like they have it on fast forward or something like that, because these cops were in and they cleared the first floor, ran up to the second floor, heard the gunfire, came around the corner, noticed, engaged immediately. You know what I mean? Stop, police, boom, 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 boom. And then the other officer saw the person move again, emptied his clip into her as she's laying dead on the ground. Rightfully so. He should have, put a couple more in her for good measure. But it's something crazy, man. I'm getting phone calls and text messages. So I don't know if someone has spammed my number out. I'm not quite sure what is going on, but I've gotten a lot of phone calls and text messages during this show, which is kind of annoying. So, and that used to happen. So I guess that means we're getting big again, because when we start getting 1 million phone calls during the show from spammers. But someone said the video wasn't really that graphic. Actually, to me, reality TV is worse. Yeah, I mean, there was no blood. There was no blood. They blurred out, the things that you had to blur. But yeah, man. Someone said the first 9 minutes of the shooter in the school, she could have been stopped if cops were there quicker. We need cops near schools during school hours. Yeah, I know. I mean, and that's where I was going on with the conversation about response times. Nashville has a shortage of police officers. I told my wife, I'm like, do you want to move to Nashville? And she's like, what? No. And I'm like, we should. See, here's another one. I'm just getting sick. If you guys are if someone's doing that, will you just stop, please? Because I'll just change my number. But it used to happen all the time. I think that's the 10th phone call in the past 30 minutes. So I'd appreciate who's ever doing it to stop. I can only assume that's what it is, because that's typically what it is. Someone said, I thought the chief said it was 14 minutes until the threat was neutralized. Yes, that's exactly right. I tweeted it out, and I believe that was from this call. You had 1.5 minutes, roughly, from the, well, I don't even think it was that. Here, let me find the tweet where I put it before, because the breakdown has already been posted online, and I was critical of it, but it said one dispatch call, 1.3 average time in queue, 1.3 minutes average time in queue. I guess that's the time from when they were from when it that's from the time the phone call comes in to the dispatch center. They wait on hold. The dispatcher takes the calls. The call is then rerouted to the appropriate place, and then the units are dispatched out. I believe that is all encompassed in the queue. It says for this call, it was about 1.3 minutes, right? The travel time was 7.9 minutes, and the average response time, including the queue call, was roughly 9.2 minutes. So essentially, police were on scene within 9.2 minutes of the first 911 call being in, which kind of lines up with the time frame that has been set forth. When you watch the videos, it's about 4 minutes from the time the police arrived to the time that the police go in and execute the shooter, or engage the shooter. They didn't execute because that would mean that, they shot her in the head, while she wasn't watching or something like that. And so I do think it's good. I do think it's good. And I'm glad the threat is over. I'll be honest with you. I'm glad that that's just one person, but I worry about what's going on social media. I worry about the amount of people that are out here like stirring the pot and trying to stir the pot. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people that are doing it. A lot of people are making comments on social media. A lot of people are doing, saying stupid things. It's so whoever's calling is doing it to an old number, because I have multiple numbers that route to this phone, some of which are my old cell phone numbers, because I could tell now because it's showing up because I went and looked, but yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff. Someone said, here I've waited 8 minutes till dispatch answers 911 call. Yeah, Portland is like that too. From what I've heard is, Fox News had someone on their show this morning, some nonprofit that goes out and recovers stolen cars in Portland now. And they say they've literally found cars before the person even gets to report their car stolen. They've literally recovered cars, which is pretty insane. But Portland is averaging 1,600 car thefts a month. That's insane. It's insane. But, it kind of, things got real here today for me because my wife sent me something and she's like, and I forgot how she said it. She's like, if you say someone saw something, someone said something, and I forgot how she said it. She said, crisis averted. Someone listened, took it seriously, and spoke up. And I was like, what the hell is she talking about? Apparently, a school in her district had a close call. So, I mean, this was released by the Frederick County Sheriff's Office about 4 hours ago, saying that on Friday, March 24th, the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, at the request of Frederick County Public Schools, opened an investigation into threats made by a student at Millbrook High School to commit acts of violence on school grounds. Administrators at Millbrook High School were made aware of statements made on social media indicating a student was intending to commit acts of violence involving the use of a firearm. School staff alerted school safety division officers. Again, our schools, all schools here, have uniformed deputy sheriffs that are assigned to the schools. And the investigation was immediately launched to address those allegations and ensure the continued safety of all those present inside the school. A 16-year-old student male was questioned. He was also secured and interviewed with the parent present, where it was determined and later confirmed that he did, in fact, post several concerning messages to a social media platform. In these messages, the student alluded his desire to cause some type of disturbance on school grounds that included the image of a weapon on one of those posts. Through additional questioning, it was discovered that the student had formulated a plan to carry out the violence at an undetermined date in the near future. At the conclusion of the interview, the student was taken into custody and charged with threats of death or bodily injury to persons on school property, which is a class 6 felony in Virginia, and is being held without bond. When they did go through his home, I thought they said that they did get a gun. And he had no firearm in his possession at any point. at any point and time on the school grounds. At any point and time on the school grounds. So they're saying he didn't have a gun on school grounds, but he may have had one at home, I'm guessing is where they're going with that. But it really makes you, because that's fucking close to home for me. And my response to her is, I said, are you going to quit your job yet? Like I said, listen, why don't you quit your job? You get a remote job doing curriculum development. I will get some sort of other remote gig, right? We'll sell our house. We'll buy a big fifth wheel. We'll sell our motorhome. We'll liquidate all our shit, buy a big fifth wheel, and we'll go travel the country and do that. I'm like, let's do it. Yeah, no, it's not happening. I can't win that one. But I don't know. It scares the shit out of me. These school shootings scare the shit out of me. And then when you hear this in the same county, you know what I mean? This school is very close to her school, very close to my other kid's school. You know, she won't do it though. You know, I've been trying. I would do it. I'd run the coffee company remotely. I don't know how I'd do that, to be completely honest. April would start having to pack coffee down in Texas. I know she would do it too, but she won't do it. Maybe she will. I don't know. Because I pointed out, I found her a curriculum development job, state, so she doesn't lose her retirement or anything like that. State job here that's fully remote. Pays $70,000 a year. I'm like, just come on, dude. That's way more than you make now. It's fully remote. You could do it remote. You don't need to go into the office. Take that damn job. And I even told her, I said, listen, I will just do the coffee thing. I will quit doing shows. I'll get a regular full-time remote job too. And I'll have the coffee business and I'll have a full-time remote job. She won't do it. She won't do it. But, and when I say quit doing the videos, it's because look at what time it is. 8:45 on a Tuesday. I'm here, still have to drive home, and then just to do it again tomorrow, And sometimes you got to look at the cost benefit of doing stuff, right? Because I've been live for 45 minutes. Is it worth me being live for 45 minutes? Away from my family? When you add that part to the equation at all, no. But whatever. Someone said when it does get too close, you have a place to go to. Yeah. Someone said try living in a cramped fifth wheel and you think your present home is too small. Do you understand that a cramped fifth wheel has about the same square footage as our home as of right now? Do people not realize that? do people not realize a fifth wheel, a cramped fifth wheel has about what is it? 600 square feet, 700 square feet. Our home is 1980 square feet. I'm sorry, 980 square feet. So our house is very small. I was complaining to my wife the other day because I'm like, I'm in the living room. Little guy's in his room, wife's in her room, or our room, and then the other boy's in his room. I couldn't even hear the TV in the living room because they all were turning up their TV so loud because they couldn't hear it because it's just tiny. Like the dog, literally, if a dog is snoring on the couch at night, it keeps me up in my bedroom on the other side of the house. It's a very small house, but we couldn't buy it. We couldn't find a house. That's the thing. We still paid $250,000 for this fucking home. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. But, it's a great first home. And to be honest, it's a home that we could still go and travel the country in a fifth wheel and not have to sell our house. And that's what I keep telling her too. And because if you're worried about not being grounded, guess what? You know what I mean? Because I'm like, we don't need to sell it. Our mortgage is so low, we're locked into an interest rate that we're not going to be able to get anywhere else. But what? I don't know. It's just funny. It's funny. That's a pipe dream because fifth wheels are expensive, right? We could buy a nice fifth wheel if we sold our house, but we couldn't afford the damn pickup truck. But you know what I would do? I wouldn't buy a pickup truck. You know what I would buy? Who knows what I would buy if I was going to do a nice fifth wheel? Who knows what I would do? Someone said, I'd buy coffee from you just to keep your wife home. You would have to buy a shit ton of coffee. You know what I mean? You would have to. Like seriously. Someone would have to give me the truck and the fifth wheel to get her to even quit. Because she this is the thing. She loves her job. She knows it's fulfilling. She loves it. A semi, Kathy knows. Semi. Why am I gonna buy a $90,000 pickup truck with a fifth wheel when I could buy a used semi, rip out the whole sleeper, put in fucking huge ass captain chairs, and boom, I could buy that semi for 20 grand, a good one. Do you know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense. Why would I why would I go buy a pickup truck? And you can register it. And to be honest, depending on how far you set it back or all that, because you could extend the frame too and put motorcycles on it. You could put a golf cart on it, on the semi. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Because you could buy a semi for cheap. You know, depending on which semi you buy, you could buy one for cheap. You rip off that fifth wheel, you know, take out the sleeper if you want, or don't. You know, I've seen people leave the sleepers in there and put a couple of seats, or they'll get the ones that have the workstations, is what they're called in the sleepers, and then they'll put like 2 other captain's chairs behind the 2 front chairs. Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom. Bobby said you got a 2019 Ford F-350 dually. Yeah, I mean I've had dualies too, but I wouldn't buy a dually now if I really wanted a fifth wheel. I wouldn't do it. I would buy a semi. I'd put, just like someone said, a hauler bed right on there. Take off the fifth wheel, put a nice deck on there, probably custom built, not by me, but put something on there. And then travel. Have enough room for a golf cart on there so I can go all full on old, you know? And that's it, you know? Someone said buy one for cheap with a blown mower. Yeah, you don't know how inexpensive good semis can be. Trust me. I bought an old Conway truck, Sterling. I think they're L8000s. I bought a Sterling truck for $6,000, single axle day cab. You know what we did? We put a $900 reman turbo in that thing. That truck made me so much money. So much money that I ended up buying more. And I bought 3 or 4 of those trucks. And the only thing we had to do, they're all Conway trucks. The only thing we had to do is put new turbos in them because they blew through the turbos quick as shit. But yeah. Someone said just get a diesel pusher. No, because the fifth wheels have more space. But that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Bobby said get a toter home to pull it. No, because you're making a toter home with the semi. Someone said Conway. Yeah, but it was right after they sold. So they got rid of all those Sterling day cabs, the single axles that they had. And we were doing regional LTL, so we didn't care. Someone said that's a day cab, bud, not a semi. Yeah, it's the same fucking thing, homie. It's the same thing, same engine. It's just a smaller bed. Or it's a smaller frame typically on a single axle, but it also doesn't have a sleeper on it. Same truck. You know what I mean? Literally, same engines, depending on what engine you have. Same engine that's in a bigger truck. It's just a single axle. Come on, bro. Matt, you're a broker, not a trucker. Shh. I'm just playing. I don't know if you've ever driven, but yeah. Someone said I mentioned that to my wife when she wanted to get an Evil and haven't driven in one forever. Not real sure I can count 25,000 miles in Germany driving Army 18 semi-post. Yeah. Yeah. See? See? Oh, shit. I put the wrong comment up there. See? I knew. When I went to shh because he was, you know, I'm like, you're a broker, not a trucker. Shh. But that's okay. I think every broker should be a trucker. I think every broker should be a trucker before they're a broker. Gives you a better understanding for the industry. Someone said I decided to buy a fifth wheel because it's just me and my husband, way cheaper than a house. Yeah, and it's more fun. You can up and go. There are thousands of auctions at Richie Bros auctions currently. Yeah. I mean, anybody who thinks that you can't get a decent semi for $20,000, you're out of your damn mind. Out of your damn mind. And if I ever got her to agree, that's how you know it would happen. I probably wouldn't even say shit. The only thing I'd do is I'd post a video and be like, I just bought a semi. And you'd be like, oh, shit, Steve is going on the road. Because that's what it would be. That's what it would be. Matt said you didn't see the inside of a truck till your 6th year as a broker. Yeah, I could tell. No, I'm just kidding. Same with dispatchers. They should have to spend time on the road being a dispatcher. I agree. You want to buy a big RV bus? Yeah, those are expensive, though. Those Provost things, those are really expensive. We saw a really nice one when we were driving to Waco, I believe, or on the way back, because I was commenting about it for a few minutes. You guys probably couldn't hear it, but I was commenting on it. All right, so I decided that she's probably asleep, so it's safe to go home now. So we're going to do this giveaway. Let me put up wheel of names. So what I did is the first name and last initial for everybody, okay? These are not randomized yet. We're not going to, I'll randomize it once I put it in there. It's going to be a big-ass list. Just so I hope you guys know. It's going to look like crazy. Let me erase all of these. Let's see. I wonder if it can handle this many. It's pausing. It's pausing. But we're going to give away a TV. And again, if you want to support this live stream now as I'm doing this live stream, I would. See it fucking. I bet I just killed it. I bet it can't do. Oh, here we go. Now it did it, so I'll shuffle it several times. It's going to look way different because it has everybody's names on it. But, guys, if you do want to support me directly, you can do so via the Cash Apps, Venmos, all that stuff. I'll put it back up on the screen while we do this. And I wouldn't mind if you guys did do it. You know, as long as you like the show. If you like the show, there's been 400 of you. Just pointing it out there that each of you, if you did $5, I would be really good. Actually, if everyone did $5 right now, that would be it would be just over $2,000. You know, which I could relax for the next 2 days, right? Because that's about what I need to make for all this stuff. But you know. If you like the show. And if you didn't like the show, send $10 and write a message on why you didn't like the show. Seriously. I mean, scientifically proven to get your voice heard. But, all right, ready for this drawing? It's going to be convoluted, but here's all the names. Everybody is in here. Let me show you. Everybody's in here over and over and over. Eric's in there a lot because he has 400 entries. Just, you know, 400 entries. All right, but now this is the person that's winning the 55-inch flat screen smart TV right now. Right now. See who it is. Joseph D. Joseph D. So let's see what that is. If it's Sarah, thank you for that $5 Venmo. Thank you. I appreciate you. I think maybe that was Cash App. Let me check. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just trying to see what platform he watches on or was watching on. Okay, so you're not this one. Maybe Venmo. Larry with the Cash App. Thank you, homie. Oh, wait. I got to do it this way. Joseph. Oh, Joseph. Yeah, Venmo. I'm going to send you a message on Venmo. Joseph D. You know who you are. You won the TV. Exclamation point. TVV, whatever, 2 V's, because I fucked up, but whatever. Yeah, so the winner, whoever won, Joseph, was on Venmo. He is the one who won. I believe the total is about $950. No, so it was 8 and change plus 900. No, yeah, right, plus 900. It was, yeah, I'll tell you. Let's be. Dude, I don't, is it this way? I'm trying to figure out how to, so let's say $90 plus 800 and change plus 88, because I know PayPal was 88, so Cash App was 800 and change. So what I say, $90 plus, because I'm giving you guys the total. And then I will be donating half of this. So that it was $90 plus 867. Later. So 90 plus 867 plus it was like 84 via PayPal. So it was 520 No, $520.50 is what I will be donating. $520.20. No, $520.50. I need to Slack that to myself so I don't forget. Shit. April, ignore that. I just sent it to you on accident. Someone said, just so we're clear, I have no problem with the LG HD TV community. Yeah. Heidi said, you don't have either apps or PayPal. How do you support? Well, I don't know. If you don't have the apps or PayPal, I don't have it set up to do a credit card. So keep your money. But yeah, if you do want to support the stream, you could do so via the links before. You don't need to, but it does help. Sarah, thank you again for the Venmo. Because right now, I mean, we're looking at $15 for an hour show. So I don't try to say that, but that's why I say the cost benefit of doing the show. If it's worth doing the show, I continue doing it. But for the most part, I'm leaning heavily towards just taking the nights off permanently. Just to be completely honest. I'm leaning heavily towards doing that. Not because I'm not making money. I'm still making money. I plug coffee like crazy. I'm trying to take a break from doing that a little bit because that also gives me a break from some of the shit I'm doing during the day. You know what I mean? I've been busting my ass. Heidi, the way you can support via credit card is go to puretruthcoffee.com and buy something. Buy a hoodie. Use code SAVEAMERICA. Save 20% off your hoodies today. But that's a good way. I think tomorrow, because I am having an issue where my ankles are still swollen from the drive. So tomorrow, I think I'm just going to literally sit in bed all day with my feet up and see if that kind of fixes the issue. Because they go down and then they get bigger. And I know what it is. It's because I ate all fast food for 4 days when traveling. But yeah, one of the things Coley said, some of us work and can't watch live during the day. Yeah, so what I think, one of the things that I want to start doing is getting a longer show in the evening. And I have it set up now where I can do, like, say I do a show. Oh, fuck, there must be a fire or something. These fire engines are going by like crazy. Where I can do like an hour news show. Like, listen to this. And let me know if you think you'd be interested in this. Where I do like an hour news show where basically throughout the day I record different bits. I put those out as news, or I put them out as videos during the day, which you can watch on YouTube or Rumble. But then I play that as like the start of a show at 8 o'clock every night, right? And then at 9 o'clock, immediately following during the same live stream, you catch up on the news and boom, I go into an hour-long rant about whatever the hell I want to talk about that is live. Because I now have the capabilities where I can run all of those recordings first and then cut right into the live stream. Would that be something that people would be interested in? Or maybe not at those times, but something like that where I put out videos during the day about random stuff, news, sports, whatever. And then I do a live stream after. So that way you're getting more. Because like, see, today for the first hour or first half hour, I talked all about personal stuff. My life, being a husband, arguing with your wife, it's don't say you, say we, like those things, right? That's what I'm thinking about doing. But Tanya and Brian, thank you, bro. Both of you guys, thank you. But yeah, so I think I may do that a little bit. Great grandma of 7 said, did I do the drawing? I did. Joseph D on Venmo won. Joseph D on Venmo won. And I suppose I'll get a message from you when you reply to that. I know I will. But Joseph D won the TV. All right. Seller transaction fee. I was wondering why there was a fee. Why did they charge me a fee for it? I was wondering why they did. They charged me 29 cents for the fee. Venmo did. But Bobby said you'll take over the show. No. But yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Someone said, I'm surprised you're not streaming on Kick with the 95.5 split. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Kick. I got an email from them the other day where they were asking me to come live stream on their platform. Amanda, thank you for that Cash App. But I don't know if it's worth it for me to live stream over there. Rumble's really upped their game. They've added subscriptions. They've added now you can mute people in the chat. You can do GIFs or GIFs or stuff. Rumble is basically becoming YouTube, and eventually it'll do. Eventually it'll be good. But I think that's the path, because then it kind of gives me the nights off, and I could do stuff where, well, see, but the problem is the other day I was doing that TikTok argument with when I jumped in the liberals feed on TikTok, and I was talking. It was like 10 o'clock at night, but I woke up my entire house because my house is fucking small. So, but I mean, even if I have to go drive around the neighborhood and just call in, well, I don't have service there, whatever. But, and that's why I may find a time. Maybe at 7 o'clock I start it, and then at 8 o'clock I cut in and I do a live show a couple of nights a week or something like that. I'll figure it out. But that way it alleviates some of the burden, because I know some of you guys like it when I'm just ranting. Other people like it when I'm just strictly talking about news and politics and stuff like that. So I think it would be better to break those two segments, have them as one giant longer show, and then I could put the whole thing out as a podcast while still having the individual things. Matt said, just go back into logistics, maybe. Oh yeah, because that market's doing good. It's not. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm weighing the cost benefit of continuing to do the live streams. And it's not a money thing. It's a hanging out with my family thing. I feel like over the past 4 years, I missed a lot of that. And that's what happens when I do long drives to Texas, because I start thinking about that. I think about some of the stuff. I think about my kids, realize I miss it. I make plenty of money with all the different companies and all the different ventures I have. By no means am I rich at all. I don't even have close to as much money as I had during COVID, but I'm happy. But I want to make sure that I don't miss anything with my kids. Does that make sense? So, and I feel like I am a little bit, right? I want to play Counter-Strike with my older son, especially the new one when it comes out. Stuff like that, and I can't do that when I'm in here doing all this shit. You know what I mean? I can't. So that's what I'm trying to figure out a different way to do it, where either I'm recording segments and not airing it and recording it as live, just like Slightly Offensive used to do, and someone else does that too. Chad Prather, he very rarely does a live show. Almost everything he does is pre-recorded, put out as a premiere, and that's what I'm doing. That person died from the car chase in California. Did he really? Damn, bro. Damn. God Rides a Harley said 12 by 24 shed. You're welcome. That is a thought. But then I'm like, if I do that, do I need all this other stuff? But I have thought about that, because we already have, another shed that we use for all my tools and stuff like that. That's got power wire to it. It's on a concrete platform. It's too small for a studio. But I did think there's a perfect spot right behind my wife's garden that could accommodate about a 12 by 24 foot shed. But it would have to go over. In our yard, we have this little divot, and when it rains a lot, that kind of fills up with water. So I would have to find some way to elevate it enough to do it while bearing the fucking power line, because I wouldn't want, which means I'd have to get a trencher. But that's okay. But yeah, do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure it out. Did you miss a car chase? Yeah, I missed it too. Someone said, none of my business, but you said your kid wanted to go to Texas. Would have been fun spending time with him. Yeah, it would have been fun spending time with him. Unfortunately, he also had to be hospitalized with a really bad asthma attack this year, so he missed days of school. And so, we're pretty strict parents. And he missed days of school, and his grades, actually, you saw a decrease because he's in all AP classes. You miss 5 days of school, guess what? You're going to miss segments of the work, and then it's going to affect your quizzes and all that stuff. But yes, there was, someone said, run a pipe under the foundation. Yeah. Charles said, am I still doing Citizen Stringer? We are doing something with Citizen Stringer, but it's not released yet. So you'll know. You'll see it. Because no matter what I do, that'll still be something, because the plan I have is a place where you guys can go and find out what's really happening. So if there's like citizenstringer.com is going to change, because what right now it's a placeholder saying something big's coming, and it's got a picture of this video on it right now, and it's playing live. So what I want it to do is I'm going to set it up so all the congressional hearings and all this stuff that we used to cover all the time, trials and things like that, that'll be your one-stop resource for, we'll have a schedule there where you can watch the White House press conference, you can watch Biden lie to the American public, you can watch committee meetings, you'll know when they all are, where to watch, we'll embed them right there, you won't ever have to leave, and one of the things I'm working on is a site-wide chat that'll stay live 24/7. Now, it's a little bit more expensive to do that, so I may do like a $2 one-time charge for the chat or something if I can't find a free version that works really well. But then there'll be a chat on there, so you can go in there. We'll have 24/7 programming, but not the way Citizen Stringer was. Completely different, and you guys will see. Someone said, Steve, I need to redo my membership. There is no memberships for Citizen Stringer. There is no memberships for Citizen Stringer. They're all canceled as of right now. Someone said, did you miss a car chase? Yes, you did. There was someone stole a police cruiser in California, and then he jumped out when the police cruiser was going about 70 miles an hour. Literally. And it was captured on video. Literally. And it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Send address, please. Does Adam live stream anymore? No, he's busy as shit doing his stuff. Someone said they have that already, C-SPAN. No, they don't. Not like we do, Melissa. I know what you're trying to say, but no, they don't. They don't do it like we do it over here. Anyway, that's going to do it for this. I got to move money around from all the different accounts. So I'll post the receipt tomorrow, or I'll just do it live tomorrow during the day. The donation to the Covenant School. But I have to move money from Cash App and all that shit now. So I will see you guys in the morning, probably around 10. I don't know if there's any committee meetings or anything, but I will see you tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Joseph, if you are watching, I need your address so I can send the TV to you. But yeah, man, we will see you guys. Someone said, how did he get the door open? He stole the car. He was in the front seat. He stole the police cruiser. Anyway, let me go. I want to go home. Actually, tomorrow I may end up doing the donation from shitty video, cell phone. I'll bring home my tablet just in case, because there is a very good chance I'm just staying in bed all day. Because my fucking feet are really swollen. My ankles are very swollen, and so I need to. But that's a problem with. I drove 2,700 miles in 4 days, and then I've just been working every day since. Doctor's appointments. I went to the dentist yesterday. Remember? Everybody remember I went to the dentist? Guess what? My dentist appointment wasn't yesterday. It was today. So I went to the dentist, and they're like, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. So I went tomorrow, in and out. But then I had to race back here because, fuck, they're coming in here to do the electricity tomorrow. They don't need me to be here. But yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Fuck, that means I got to be here tomorrow because they're coming to fix the fucking outlets that they fucked up. Fuck. Whatever. See you guys tomorrow.